So last week, guys, we talked about what this perfect food plot was, and you know, it was the soybeans with a combination of a good blend, but we had to plant it 2 separate times. So one thing I didn't get into with this video, and first and foremost, if you didn't see that video, go check that one out first so you know exactly what to plant. But when you do this specific planning and this strategy, you need to do it a certain way. And I'm sure a lot of you guys were thinking of this, you know, during the video. Well, how could you plan it? How could you do it that way? So basically, what the plan, you know, what the plan was to plant soybeans in the spring, and in the exact same area in which you planted those soybeans, plant a blend as well. How do you do that? If you till it up, you're going to ruin soybeans. You're going to ruin whatever you planted originally, right, Brett? Well, there's a way of getting around that. So what I generally do is I plant soybeans with a grain drill, maybe even a no-till drill if possible. That way, I'm not breaking up as much ground, releasing moisture. A lot of guys, they only can get their hands on a tiller or a disc, and I get it. It's better than nothing if you're going to plant a food plot, but my personal preference is that I'm going to use a drill of some sort. And the reason why is because, first and foremost, year after year after year, you keep tilling, you keep tilling, you keep tilling. Basically what you're doing is you're draining the nutrients far below the depth in which any plant could ever could reach them. You set that tiller at 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 inches into the ground. What plant that you're planting is going to be able to reach the nutrients that far down? So if you are going to use a tiller or whatever, just tickle the top, you know? Sounds a little goofy saying that, but just get the top portion, you know, the first couple inches, just to work up the ground a little bit. A best case scenario, guys, use a grain drill, use a no-till drill. By doing that, you're not going to drain the nutrients farther into the soil bed where they're unreachable. But not only that, you're going to keep a lot more moisture in the ground. So when you work it up, obviously you're going to be losing a lot of that moisture that was underneath the top layer of ground. By using a drill, you're not going to have that issue. So you don't need to depend on a rain coming quite as much. It's still important, but you don't need that rain quite as badly. Whereas if you work up that soil, you're going to need it, and you're going to need it faster. And worst case, I mean, you already drained the nutrients anyway. So, like I said, it has a whole bunch of issues. So that's how you're going to get those soybeans in the ground. You're not going to work up that ground in a perfect scenario. You're not going to work it up. You're going to use a seed drill or a no-till drill of some sort. Okay. Fast forward. Let's say you put Milorganite down, and if you guys are unfamiliar with Milorganite, it's basically a fertilizer. It's a human byproduct that you can put down on your food plots to keep the deer off of them. In their earliest stages at least. Maybe you got soybeans 6 to 8 inches tall. If you put Milorganite down, it should keep them out of there for a little bit. So let's say, best case scenario, the deer didn't get into your soybeans. You put a fence around it. You use Milorganite. You use some other fertilizers, a couple other ones out there. In your food plot, your soybeans, they look great. And about last week of July rolls around, mid-August, depending on where you are in the country, and now it's time to put this blend in the ground as well. How can you do that without ruining those soybeans? It's very simple. This time you're going to have to plant it around a rainstorm. A good amount of rain at least. All you have to do is go through that big planting of soybeans and double the seeding rate. Go with your bagging seeder or a four-wheeler if you want to drive some of them over. But go in there, double the seeding rate of what you were originally supposed to use for that amount of acreage. Maybe it was 4 pounds to the half acre or quarter acre or whatever it was, and double that seeding rate. And do it right before a rainstorm and allow that rain to push those seeds into the ground. Therefore, when those seeds get pushed into the ground just a little bit and they make seed to soil contact, they'll germinate. And when they germinate, they're slowly going to get taller, they're slowly going to get, you know, bigger, and they're going to mature. And all in one food plot, assuming that you fertilize correctly and you've done your soil tests and all these other things so that you have healthy soil, you can have a food plot with numerous tons per acre of forage for those deer, including a spring crop and a fall crop, soybeans, and a good blend of daikon radishes, purple top turnips, clovers, everything. So ultimately, it sounds a little confusing at first, but there is a way to get this ultimate food plot in the ground all in one plot, and that's how you do it.